Hello everybody. I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. Maybe I create a little bit more light. Yes. So if you're watching, if you're connecting, it's always fun to say hi and where are you watching us from. So it's always nice. Hello Kelly, Marina. Yes, Marion. Hello. Wonderful. Beautiful. Great. Yay, Isabel is back. We're having a long weekend together, right? Last night I've been doing a channel. Hi, Kali, also here from last night. So yeah, we had a long channel about the goddess and the new year. Hello, Valérie from France. Pamela, nice to see you. Hi, guys. Yes, Holland, of course. North of England, Claire, beautiful. Natalie, hello. Yeah, lovely to see you all. So yeah, I'm in this weekend jamboree. Yeah, we had Friday evening, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, and now Sunday evening. I had a few sessions. Hi, Laura, Sandra, really nice. I kind of gathered all these events that I'm offering now this weekend because of the new moon. I feel it's like such a powerful energy. Hello, Angie. And it's nice to just launch the year together in a different way. Hello, Hannah from Germany. So yes, let me see if my sage stopped burning. I think so. I'm not going to be smoked out of the house. So yeah, if you feel like sharing a little bit how you're doing, how this last week has been for you, right? We had a new moon, a powerful new moon going on, I think, on Wednesday. Hello, Sabine, Belgium. Lilian, Switzerland. Lovely. So if you guys feel like sharing a little bit how you're doing, and yes, if you're familiar with Yin Yoga, if you're familiar, hello Anke, with Acu-Yin, like a combination of acupressure, not acupuncture, right? We're not going to put needles into ourselves while we're in poses, but yeah, it's a combination of acupressure and Yin Yoga. If you're familiar with that, have you heard about it? Have you ever tried it? I offered another class on YouTube about this. Hello, Françoise. Marieke. Oh, beautiful. Holland is here. Strong Holland. UK, Germany, Switzerland. Great. All right. So I keep reading what you guys are writing, and at the same time I try to talk myself. So yeah, a little hello Sophie. Oh my god, we have a spammer. Just wait a second. I'm just gonna have to get somebody out from here who is just here to spam. So I did that. Hopefully it's gonna work. So yes, hello Kuka. All right. Nowadays, this is what's happening. You come here on Facebook together, and then other people come to kind of use the space or send their stuff or send some spam. It's a bit of a crazy world, but let's just keep our focus. And yeah, so a little introduction for Acu and Yin, acupressure and Yin Yoga. Yin Yoga is a form of yoga which is a meditative type of yoga, a passive type of yoga. I would always say that Yin is a complementary yoga. So I wouldn't recommend that somebody is just practicing Yin Yoga and nothing else, no other physical modalities. So it would be important to know that it's not for every day, that it's not for everybody. So it's a complementary practice. If you have a lot of activity in your life, could be nice, we stay longer in poses, but those poses, we hold them in a passive way. So it's not that you work in the poses. Actually, you want to surrender, you want to drop, you want to release your body to the earth, and you want to let gravity do the work for you. Yes, Hatha Yoga is an active type of yoga, right? So what are yang styles of yoga? Yang styles are Hatha Yoga, Iyengar, which is type of Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Vinyasa Yoga, Vinyasa Flow, Hot Yoga, obviously Kundalini Yoga. What am I leaving out? Right, a more active type where you work with your muscles and you engage your muscles. That's a yang style of yoga. It creates heat. It's a dynamic engagement. And most of the time when we work in those poses, you really work towards something, right? You want to extend, you want to reach, you want to engage, you want to activate. So you are actively present in there. Yin yoga is completely different. You try to release your own will, right? Your own control, your own will over what's going on. And it's more of an art of surrender. We go into some poses that might look similar to what we see in Hatha Yoga. Some poses do look similar, but we go into those poses in a very different way. We just soften there, we relax there, and we try to find a place where the body gets a nice stretch, opening or compression, but you don't need to engage the muscles. In fact, you're asked to disengage your muscles. You are asked to just let go and let gravity do the work for you. In this way, it's quite energizing. The energy work that is happening because we're triggering is just very annoying. This person, could you please stop this nice person sending messages to everybody about your about your readings, because I see it all through the screen, so it's a bit focus trying. All right, so yeah, it's a meditative yoga practice because you are asked to let go of the mental control, and we just stay with the breath, and through the breath we surrender more and more to the gravity's pull, which allows deeper tissues to relax, not just superficial tissues, the muscles, which are the yang parts of the body, but the deeper tissues that actually are responsible for our stability, for our inner structure to create steadiness in the body. So that's what we are relaxing and we are reaching, and in those deeper tissues we have energy channels running, and those are the ones that we can stimulate because we stay longer in the poses. So eventually yin is a practice where you can get energy without really working for that energy, right? Sometimes people say like, I'm really tired or I'm really low, so I'm gonna do some exercise to lift myself up. And eventually you might be able indeed to generate a positive energy, also a little bit adrenaline, right? Because you stress your body, you kind of push a little, and then it starts to activate. And maybe you feel way more energized after your run or an active class. Maybe you went in super tired, but you really went for it, and afterwards you feel like really buzzing. But you needed to work for that energy, right? In yin, actually, we just let go, and seemingly you don't really do much. You may be able to step into a more calm, relaxed, meditative state of mind. And because of those deeper stretches that are occurring in the deeper tissues, we're actually also stimulating energy flows in the body and the functions. We're harmonizing the organs. Yes, so supporting organs, supporting organ health. So it's a very therapeutic practice. And it looks like we're not doing anything, and still a lot of magic is happening. So this is one part of the story. Now we're going to combine this with some concrete acupressure points, which we will press, and at the same time we're also stretching the according channels. So we work with the tissues, the connective tissues, we work with points, and we work with energy channel stimulation. So yes, I would say just always feel free to sense and feel what is good for you, right? So I will offer many options in this practice. And just a little bit more about my intention. Why are we here tonight? I mean, I don't know your intention. You might be able, you might want to share it a little bit here in the window. What drew you here tonight? Maybe you do know somebody who is having COVID. Maybe yourself, you had it. Maybe you know some people who are now just with the seasonal flu, but sometimes we can feel really miserable with that seasonal flu as well. So this is the season really to take care of our lungs, to take care of our vitality, because it's easily vulnerable. Yeah, so practice we're going to do tonight is not just for the COVID, it's not just for those who have it, it's actually good for everyone in this season, because it's working with the qualities that we should be embracing in this season. I will get into that in a bit. Yes, so it's a spa. Spam. Yes, it's a spam. Definitely is. So just ban the guy. Yeah, that's it. So just coming back. Yeah, so where was I? Yes, the practice tonight. Yeah, so it's a practice that's going to be great for this season. And I will try to really make sure that we have all the information at the beginning, even about the points that we will work with, so that when we are in the practice, you can just practice and let go and then enjoy a nice, relaxing Acu-Yin class. So you can really surrender more, feel the energies, and give your body a nice spa experience. Not a spam experience, but a spa experience. Okay, so yes, a few words. Why did I feel to offer this class? First of all, I feel like it's, of course, it's in everybody's life right now, what's going on. But then also because I'm a type of person who is listening, you know, whatever is happening in the world. I've been working on myself for quite a long time, more than 25 years. So yes, this is it. To the spa. Yeah, thank you. So just keep sharing why are you here if you feel like sharing it. So for me, it's very important to always, you know, step back a little. Whatever is happening in the world, just step back a little and try to understand what's going on, right? Very important that we can take some distance and we can look at it from a higher perspective. And I'm not here to say this camp is right or that camp is right, right? What you see a lot nowadays is division. One camp is saying this is all conspiracy, this is all bullshit, this is all COVID doesn't even exist. The other camp is fully afraid and is crossing those who say, like, you know, don't take it so serious. So I'm not busy with none of these two. I think what is important for us, and this is why I'm here today, for me, I'm always interested. Okay, guys, this is the situation. How can we make it the best for all? Yeah. And to me, as a soulful person who I'm practicing yoga and meditation every day, and I'm trying to live in a way that taking good care of myself, taking good care of my inner vibrations, that my, you know, inner mood and so on. But then also I feel like, I try to be a good person, right, to the people around. So I try to have a meaningful life where my presence is contributing to something greater. Yeah, I think that's important, that we get clear about that our presence does affect other people's world and other people's life. And so maybe it's great to have a great energy, a great message, a great attitude towards all the people around us, maybe even those that I don't agree with, or I think that they, you know, they don't see the full picture and I do see the full, right? So not entering those games, but just generally wishing everyone well and good health and a great vibe, and wishing that this is soon over and we all shift into a different place. So what I feel about the COVID, right, is that it's, if you read the elements, read the signs, it's affecting the lungs, right? And yes, so it's affecting the lungs. It's just like a flu, right? It's the season for the flu. Of course, well, COVID started at the last end of winter, right? Last winter, there are signs that it was already around last fall. So not this fall, but the fall before. So it's like it's coming in always, you know, flu is coming in from the season fall. We step into the element of metal according to the Chinese medicine, right? We have 5 elements. Each element is connected to a season. Metal is the ruler for fall. Winter is ruled by water. These two often, you know, people have issues with respiratory things. They have issues with kidneys. They have issues with getting cold everywhere. This is a normal thing in the season. But what is interesting that as far as we can see, the people who get affected by COVID, whose immune system is letting this thing come in, actually a lot of them have a hard time to beat it, right? So it's a sticky thing. It's something that is attaching. It's also attaching easily because it's spreading wide. And then it's also, for those who really get it, it's a long journey to release it. And so interestingly enough, the metal element, which is connected to the lungs and the large intestines, have as theme letting go. So if you have issues with letting go, you might have issues with breathing, with coughs, with flus and all of that. So for me, I'm immediately feeling, all right, you know, it is attacking this area, plus it's really sticky, it's attaching. So yes, it is a metal imbalance. Right? And then the other one, which we see that winter, right, comes after fall. One season is supporting or pushing the next season. It's always affecting the next season, right? So if we have an imbalance in winter, we might have an imbalance in winter as fall. Then we might have an imbalance in winter as well, because they are working together, affecting each other. To the lungs, we have the kidneys also connected. Interestingly enough, a lot of people who have COVID issues and they have this kind of long-term thing with it, they made research that the kidney was also affected. Also liver, but kidney as well. Strong kidney influence. And a lot of people really say that they are really weak. So weakness, physical weakness, loss of vitality, it's definitely a kidney issue. So kidneys are responsible for our energy, for our day-to-day vitality. So if you have something that is attacking your kidney, then you might lose your vitality, you might get more fearful. Because what is really affecting our vitality is stress and fear. So if someone is a lot in fear, you may see them trembling, you may see them shaking, and if it's persisting, they might just really lose their physical energy. They might become literally weaker in their physical body. So the kidneys are energetically connected to the lungs and then also anatomically. So eventually these two are really, really involved in the whole COVID story. Also because there is so much fear around this COVID, whether that is a hype or not, let's not talk about that. But there's a lot of fear and a lot of stress related to the COVID. And each one of us has been affecting in some ways or the other by the stress caused by COVID. Maybe not, health-wise, but maybe financially or just literally by all the changes that it all of a sudden brought to everyone, right? The air is really dry here. Yeah, so these two things are big topic in the COVID. The letting go, the attachments and the letting go. And with that, the freedom. And then on the other side, the fear, the anxiety, the stress that is also around, and change. And that's my third topic that I wanted to introduce tonight, that in my opinion, in my feeling, the way I see it, humanity right now is in a big change. It's in a big change. And those of you who have been through last year, we all have been pushed into a big change. And if we're really, truly honest with ourselves, in some ways, taking away the difficulties, taking away the results of this change, or the surface of the change, or the existential difficulties or challenge that might have arisen, I think we might, if we're really honest in our heart, we might have been pushed into a direction into which we wanted to go, but we didn't know how to go. We might have been pushed to let go of something that we on some level wanted to release, but we were not sure how. We might have not been trusting that we could release it, or we wanted to release it maybe a little later, and so on. So there is a big change right now going on globally. A lot of people are opening up. This virus has been really stirring up a lot of things. People are opening up to their emotions. People are realizing what's truly is important in their life. There's a lot of reconsideration of the human life and people's life in general. Like, why am I living? Do I really want to keep working in that office, which I really don't like? Or do I need to change something, right? So we have been pushed into a change. But are we holding on to the things from the old structure, or are we flowing with the change with trust? And this is a big one, I think. This is easy to talk about, like, oh, trust the flow, trust everything gonna be fine. Obviously, if you have children, if you are, whatsoever, it's not that easy, right? It requires a lot of courage, a lot of practice, a lot of awareness to kind of stay positive and just say, well, we keep going. If we compare our situation to our grandmother's situation, we were fighting in the World War, we're still great, right? We are not in a famine. Well, there are solutions coming up whatsoever, yeah? But there is this big change. And I kind of feel that underneath it all, these are the dynamics. The COVID has been contributing to kind of push this change faster, yeah? But on the soul level, we are in a big change, and Earth is in a big change, and we all feel that we need to do things differently. We need to get together, we need to build community. The old manipulative system needs to really collapse. This is one part, and a lot of people start to realize this. The other part starts to kind of get against this and try to rebuild it and keep it and harmonize it, or, solidify it. Yeah, so if we realize this, we can just really understand that what is important, that we take care of ourselves, of the physical body, right? That we go to the sun, we go into nature, we take care of our inner space, of the positive vibe, that we do realize when negativity is coming in such an amount that this is bad for us, right? And we do realize we have tools to take care of our own health. And that's why I'm here also today, because I do feel like it's a bit outrageous that we all the time hear messages about what we should avoid, how we should fear this and that, how we should contract, but very little is said about how you can solidify your immune system, how you can support yourself. Or if you get COVID, how can you, and so on. So this is what tonight I would love to share. Traditions that have been around the planet for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years, from the Chinese, how they knew how to treat the body with just pressing points, how they knew how to balance the energies in a person so the body can find its health again, because our bodies are incredibly powerful. They can really, balance things out super good. And the responsibility that we have up here, on what is the mental, how to say that? We have the ability to control what amount of information and what type of information is coming in, and it's creating a mess all the time. Being responsible doesn't mean that I need to listen to all the news, right? We do have tools to be responsible and to be caring and loving, but we also need to be aware of how things are affecting us and how to take care of our own energy if we feel we are affected. So today, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a few points. First, to really show you how you can learn these points, I'm going to share a few words about these points. After the practice, I will be writing them down underneath the video. So if you're not clear about which point was that, you can always look it back. Yeah, you can find it, you can Google it, you can make it even more clear for yourself. Yeah, so just really know that it's all good. There's no stress. There's enough stress in the world right now. We don't want to build more. And after that, we will go into a practice where we're going to combine these points with some yin poses. Right. So first of all, since we said we want to support the lungs, so the lungs can breathe deep, the lungs can receive fresh air, and then the lungs can let go of the old air, what does not serve us anymore, what is not alive anymore. We're able to release it, right? So that's the ability of the lungs. In the Chinese approach, they say that the color, they connect with every element of color. The color for the metal element, which rules the lungs, is white. So it can be quite therapeutic to just imagine whenever you feel like you have issues with your lungs, breathing difficulty, or you just feel like really a lot of tension in your chest, that with every inhale that you take, you inhale white, bright energy. And you can definitely visualize how this white energy is filling up your lungs, and how with every exhalation, you can just say, okay, I'm releasing what no longer serves me. Yeah, so that's usually an inner mantra that I work with a lot. With the inhale, inviting the fresh energy. If you want, you can use the white color, vitality, fresh energy, free, spacious energy. And then with the exhalation, I release what no longer serves me, what I don't need anymore. Yeah, and that's a habit we can practice. Some of us, we may have more difficulty in releasing. We're more the gathering types, collecting, gathering, keeping. You can just literally have a look in your closet, how many of your old clothes are stuck there, or all this, all that. Are you able to just or donate what you don't really use anymore, so it doesn't keep your space occupied? That's the thing. Every time we exhale, we create space for the new breath to come in. Sometimes people don't exhale fully, which means that later on, they cannot breathe in enough. And that's most of the time happening with the asthmatic people. We think, they believe they don't get enough in, but actually they need to release more. Yeah? And then there is more space for the next inhale to breathe in and to get enough. So this receiving and the ability to let go, very important for the lungs. So we will support the lungs, and for that we have a few points, the lungs 7 and lungs 9. So lungs 7, it's going to be on our wrist. On the wrist there are lots of powerful energy points. Yeah, there is one for the heart underneath the little pinky, which we might use as well later. Try to find this wrist line. And then for the lungs, we're now just going to go for the lungs 9. The lungs 9 is as you come down for the big thumb, you go to the wrist line, you should, right underneath the bone of the thumb, you should feel a little hole there, right? So that's the lungs 9. It's a great point to help you breathe, to clean the lungs, to clean the throat. It can also help with all this area, yeah? Lungs 9. Also can be very helpful for mental illnesses. Yeah, for inner, when we kind of feel like we lose control, when we're getting like crazy. Yeah, so lungs 9. Then the next one will be underneath, but a little bit more in, lungs 7. How you find that lungs 7? We will have both of our hands come together and just slide your thumbs in. Wait a second, the other way around. So one is coming like this, the other one is coming like that. And then where your index goes, I'm trying to show you, right? You do it like this, and where your index goes, where your index is pointing at, I'm now just trying to show it like this. That's where the lungs 7 is going to be, somewhere here. How can you find a point? Try to kind of move around, and you will feel at some point that it's sensitive there. Yeah, so lungs 7, very important source point, yeah, for the lungs. Maybe if you find it, you already start to feel something is happening. Yeah, so as I show you, it's kind of like one finger width away from the outside, somewhere in the hole between these tendons and the bone. Yeah, lung 7. We will work with this one. It's on both hands. So all the meridian channels, energy channels, they are on both hands, symmetric. Then we have 2 points next to the nose, right? And these are the large intestine 20. This is an amazing point if you have your nose blocked. You can't breathe through your nose, you're snotty, you have allergies, so on, it's clogged, then this point's next to the nose. Again, you can press it on both sides. If you press it for 2-3 minutes, it's gonna help you to clear the pathway. Yeah, so large intestine 20, that's quite easy to find. And then afterwards, we will work with the kidney meridian just to energize the whole body, right? To really give us a boost in stress release and connect us back to the source of vitality that we have inside of ourselves. It's a very interesting concept. When you feel really low in energy, you might feel like the energy needs to come from the outside to fill you up. But in fact, it might be that the source is inside you. You just blocked the pathway towards your inner source. So activating the kidney meridian, working with some point, will actually generate new vitality from within. And that's kind of a miracle, right? Because we would think, well, I'm super low in energy, so I need to get it from the outside. But no, it's all in there. You have your resources inside. And so the kidney 27, it's a very important one. It's up here, right? So I'm not going to pull it lower, don't worry. So find your collarbones. This is the last point of the kidney meridian. So as again, I said, this is calming the mind, energizing vitality, releasing stress. And since it's up here, it's connected to the lungs as well. It's very helpful for all kind of respiratory issues and release stress, anxiety from the chest. So where is the kidney 27? Find the breastbone, right, in the middle, this bone thing that joins the ribs. And then find your collarbone, which is on the top, right? So if you lift your arms, you're gonna have it here. And from there, from the collarbone, we will just take 3 fingers and come to the side with 3 fingers width. Everybody has their points according to their own body. So we can't say this and this centimeter, because if you have a small body, you will have small fingers, and so you will find your point there. Yeah, so it's 3 fingers of yourself, width from the breastbone, right under the collarbone, between the collarbone and the first rib, in a hole. So somewhere here. Yeah, and maybe if you find that point, if you press it, it will be sensitive. This is a point, and also there are other ones in one line with it. So same vertical line going down. These are all the kidney points up here. So we have like 25, 26, 27 coming up here. So if you would just do tapping here in this area, very, very good also. Releasing anxiety and helping the energies to clear up here in the lungs and getting more vitality. So that's one way, the tapping here. The other way is to press the kidney 27 as I described it. And the other way, if you have like balls, fascia balls, and if you have some, we might use them, you could put them here and lie on them and press in this area, right? So it's massaging, it's clearing it all up. Very, very nice one. And calming. If you have, for example, like the restless cough, this is a great one to calm it down. Okay, and then we will continue with the kidneys, but on our feet. So I'm just going to lower this thing down so you can see more of my, oh, it's not this way, sorry. You can see more of my foot. So we will work on the foot, right? So on the inner ankle. So here is this kind of bump, the inner ankle bone. And we will go and look for the kidney 3 and the kidney 5. Also this, I'm going to write it down. What is important, that we will look for this little half circle around your ankle bone, right? So going backwards towards the Achilles, if you come down of that bone, just wrap your thumb on that ball and then start to go towards the Achilles. And then from there, go a little bit more down. So you are kind of in one line with the bottom of this ankle bone. That's where the kidney 5 is. Yeah, this is a very powerful point, very energizing for both the yin energy and the yang energy in the body. So if you don't have energy to be active, this can be a very nice one to use as well. But it's also kind of nourishing all the feminine type of qualities. So how long you work with each point? I would say like 2 minutes, maximum 3. Especially if you do them on both sides, I would say 2 minutes is enough if you combine it with the yin pose. If you don't combine it with the yin pose, maybe just 3 minutes each. Yeah? And you can do that like once a day or maybe morning and evening. If someone is really having a challenging situation which is really intense in the moment, you could do them like 2 times per day. Yeah, so now I try to show you, right? This is the kidney 5, right? Closer to the heel, kind of under the ankle bone there, kidney 5. It's amazing point for many things, not just for this, but especially, of course, we use it now to give energy. Lots of COVID people, lots of flu people, they really feel weak. And then the kidney 3 is a little bit higher up. Yeah, so it's like more kind of like here. Yeah, it's kind of more on the top side of the ankle bone. Try to find it there. There is a sensitive point. And then you can also massage it with your thumb in a circle way. You can press it in. Maybe you already start to feel something's happening as you press it. Right? Sometimes one point can feel, if you really need that point, you might feel like a rush of energy, or just some physical sensations right away happening with that. Yeah, so this is going to be kidney 3, kidney 5. If you're totally not familiar with this and this is confusing, I would just say during the practice, try to just massage in a half circular way around the ankle bone, on the back of it, yeah, towards the Achilles. And this is going to be enough. That's also very nice. It's all here. Yeah. And then we will have also the stomach 36. Let me show you that. I go a little bit back. Stomach 36, another very energizing point. It is called 3 miles more. So it means it's coming from a legend, from a story where I think it was a messenger who needed to go somewhere in the old times, obviously no car, no nothing, no carriage, and he needed to walk from A to B village, and he would collapse, and then he would press this point and he could walk 3 miles more. Yeah, so 3 miles more, it's very energizing on the physical body. So the physical body is able to kind of gather more strength, more energy to move, to have it for the day. Yeah, it's for the day, for every duties that we have to do, physical activities. Yeah, so place your hand on top of your knee. Try to show it high up here. Yes, on top of the knee. And then where your little pinky comes, right? If you really place the middle of your palm on the top of the knee and then put your fingers down, where the little pinky comes on the side, let me kind of lift it. It's kind of, find it, it's here. Yeah, so here. Again, it's in a hole. It's next to the bottom of the kneecap, right? To the side, a little bit to the side, there is a hole there. And you might feel, again, some sensitivity in there. Yeah, so stomach 36. really, really energizing point. I use it all the time. It's great to stimulate the stomach, of course, for digestion, but also if you need energy, if you feel disconnected from your body, you need to get into your body, you need to ground. It's a great point. Okay, and then there is one more, which I love to use as well, is the Governor Vessel 20. It's on the top of your head. It's where we say we have the crown. Yeah, so you can just come from the center and then draw a line and try to find the peak, the top of your head. And then maybe you can, as you circle there with your kind of here, right? You circle there with your finger, you might feel, oh, it's a little bit sensitive, it's there. So that's an extra meridian. It is not connected to an organ, but as you hear, the name of it is called Governor. So it's one that is kind of managing all the active energies in the body. And this is a really nice one to bring everything to harmony. Yeah, so again, the activity, but it's also calming and harmonizing. Also great for headaches or whenever you have too much going on in your head. Wonderful. Yeah, Governor 20. But don't worry, I will put these on a list and then you can look them up. And then, yes, we can just start our practice. So let me check what's the time. And I think we will have practiced about, yeah, probably like 45, 50 minutes. We will keep the poses a little bit less long than we will painful on the head. Yeah, it's a nice one to press. And it's really bringing calms. If you press it for a longer time, it will bring a little calmness. Maybe you are more like a, head person with lots of thoughts going on. This can be quite calming and kind of dimming it down. Yeah, so we will hold the poses a little bit less long than we would hold it in a yin class. So we can go through all the poses, and because we use the points, it's going to be quite powerful anyway. So when I do Acu-Yin, I usually hold the poses less long. And yes, and then I use a lot the breath. Yeah, so important is to maintain a steady breath. And I will invite you over and over to connect to the breath, to breathe a little deeper, because through the breath, you can support the energy flow in the body. And of course, we are working now with the respiratory organs and so on. Obviously, if people have difficulties to breathe, if they're full of stuff, they might have to adjust a little bit the practice. Maybe first they start with the points and, not hanging too much down in poses and so on. So feel free to adapt if necessary. And yeah, I would just encourage you to just go with the experience. Yeah. So if you have little fascia balls, we may need that, so you can use it. And then we can just go, I'm just gonna put it down. I'm gonna go away from you onto my mat, so we can start the practice. Yeah, so let's just find a nice, comfortable sitting position. You can just cross your feet in the way that it feels nice for you. And let's just have a few breaths here. If you feel indeed that you've been a lot in your head in the last few hours, could be nice to just have a moment to press the top of your head gently. And then at the same time, just connecting to our breath. Breathing in fresh vitality, fresh energy, and releasing what we don't need anymore. The body is such a wonderful, magical system. It has its own wisdom, and sometimes with our mental concepts and structures and attachments, we are influencing the body's own rejuvenation and healing processes. So it's important that we surrender. We let the body do its job, and we support the body wherever we can. So slowly you can take your hands down, relaxing your shoulders. And just take this time to really land into yourself. For now, just release everything and everyone and all the stories, and just be here in your own safe space. And this nice energy that we are sharing tonight. And then let's just slowly have both of our hands come together in front of the heart. And we'll slowly start to open some energy channels. So on your next inhale, take both of your arms up. And then on the exhalation, slowly opening the arms. And as you are here, you can just take the arms a little bit more back. And you can lift the heart a tiny bit. And then on the exhale, slowly taking the arms back again. And then take the hands back in front of the heart. So the lungs channels, they are running on the inner arm and in the hands. They are running towards the armpits, the front side of the shoulders. So we can just open them, stretch them. Try to stretch also the palms, the fingers. And then slowly taking both arms back up. And exhale, hands coming back to the heart. Now from here, let's just have the right arm coming across and taking your left arm underneath, so we can stretch this time the outer arm. Yeah, on the outer arm we have the large intestine meridian, and as we take this arm here under, see if you can press next to the right nostril. So on the same side as your arm is stretched, we stretch the right nostril. We press, the right nostril next to the right nostril. So not the nostril, but next to the nostril, next to the nose, that point, the large intestine 20. Yeah, have a breath here. And long full exhale. You could exhale through the mouth, really symbolizing the letting go. And then one more breath here, inhale. And full exhale. And then slowly slide with that left arm a little bit closer towards the wrist, and we're going to play with these arms. Take it across, circle a little bit with your wrist, and turn it around. So now you're going to stretch the left arm across, and we're going to do it like 2 more times, circling, changing, and then again circling and changing. And now just stay here. And then take your right arm a little closer. The left arm is stretched. You gently press it back. And this time, cross and press next to the left nostril. And also have a few breaths here. Clearing the pathway for the breath, inhaling. And if it feels nice and not forceful, you can exhale through the mouth. And now consciously, the last one, inhaling, and with the exhale, giving permission to your body to let go. Great, slowly slide back with your right hand towards the left wrist, and a little bit more playful time, pull it across, and again, circling at the wrist, pull it across. Great, coming back to the center, both hands can be on the shoulders, and just circle a little bit here. If you want, again, you can connect to the breast. So on an inhale, lift your elbows. On the exhale, take it down. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, release. One more time. And just have both of your hands landing on your knees. For a moment, have a normal breath. Very important that we don't push the breath, because then you might get dizzy if you force the breath. So even when I say receive the breath deeper, try to really just gently receive it, not push, not pulling, not efforting. So observe for a moment your breath again. And then from here, we will slowly go into the kidneys first. Yeah? So take your feet together. Feet can join together, either closer to you or further away from you. We will go into the butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana, which we would have in the Hatha pose. Yes? So the kidney meridian, kidney channel is running from underneath the foot sole, towards the ankles, where it's circling like we saw that. It's running up on the inner leg, coming up here, and then coming all the way up here, right? So check for yourself if this posture is comfortable to sit in. If your lower back is sensitive or you notice your pelvis is tilting back, you may want to sit on a block or in a little pillow. Also, if holding your legs like this is really hurting your hips or is just feels like being stuck, you can always just do one side, okay? And you can regulate if you pull the feet closer to you or further away, which will definitely give more ease for your hips. So feel free to modify. Our intention here is to feel a gentle stretch on the inner leg. And then we will find our kidney 3 and kidney 5 point, which we located together around the ankle bone. So go to that place, find your ankle bone, and start to do this half circle, right? Towards the Achilles, so towards the back of the ankle bone. And first you can just do the circle there, and then maybe you can find back the kidney 3, which was more on the top part, you know, kind of more behind the ankle bone, towards the top of it, a little bit below the top, towards the tendons, between the tendons and the bone. There's this little hole, probably you feel a little sensitivity. We can start with that one. Once you have your point, you can just have a little lift in the chest, and you can decide if you want to go more into a forward fold, or you are maybe just fine up here. So find yourself a position where you can relax, even though you press with your thumbs those points. You can relax your shoulders, you can relax your face, and you can come back to your breath. And since now we are working more with the water through the kidneys, I always love to bring in the imagery of the water, since now we try to come back into a clean, a pure and powerful source of vitality. Maybe you imagine like a mountain river that is so pure, so clean. And with every inhalation, you connect to that river, you invite that clear, vital energy. To wash you, to clean you, to flush your whole body, and to energize, to revitalize it all. Find a calm breath. And also find this gentle attitude of, in a way, we're giving love to the body, right? We're kind, we're supporting the body. So as you press, have that gentleness, have that kindness. And you can choose if you release your head, maybe you want to let your head hang. Maybe you keep it more upright if your neck is sensitive. And then slowly, if you want, you could start to walk towards the kidney 5, which was more at the bottom of this ankle bone. Also a little bit, right, in one line, if you would draw a line from the ankle bone to the heel, that would be on that line right there, right? Maybe it's easier to find it if you flex the foot first. And you can just press that one as well. Go for the sensitive spots. These are wonderful points for stress release. And I do believe that all of us probably would need this. Right now, life on earth is not a piece of cake. So there is this invitation to be gentle, kind to ourselves and to one another. And if you want, you can maybe allow your upper body to go a little bit more forward. You don't have to, only if it feels nice. And try to release your jaw, your face. And just let the breath flow like waves, effortless, fluid breath. And the last 2 breaths here. And a nice long inhale at the end. And the full exhale, you can exhale through the mouth, just letting go. And then from here, slowly, gently take yourself back up. Have your hands coming behind you. And sway a little bit from side to side. Have a little windshield wipers, moving our hips in an asymmetric way, releasing tension from the hips. And then from here, we're just going to find our way all the way down onto the belly. Yeah, so come down onto your belly. And before we do anything, we will just, if you have balls, this is the moment when you could use them. We could just place these balls where I showed you, right here, to this area. So under the collarbone, a little bit more away from the breastbone, somewhere here. If you don't have balls, what you're going to do, you're going to take your thumbs into your hands and you're going to create a little fist. And you're just going to place the fist underneath the collarbone, away from the breastbone. And then we're going to put our weight on it. Yeah, so you can just maybe have a block coming underneath your head. Could be a nice one. Or maybe you don't need that, so you can put more weight onto the there is more weight with your upper body coming onto the fist, right? So just place your fist there or place your balls there. If you have the balls, then you could place your arms in a cactus arms and just have a little moment here. And breathing in deep into the lungs, drawing your attention onto the lungs. If you want, you can imagine the white color, the beautiful white bright light. And with the exhalation, releasing what no longer serves you. Attachments that you shouldn't have anymore, that are not good for you, that are limiting your freedom. And anything that your inner space carries, but it's just old stuff and you're not using it anymore. Allowing the breath to create little waves, sort of massaging your organs, your chest muscles as you breathe, as your body gently moves. And try to relax your shoulders, really release the weight of the arms. And let's just have our last breath here. So nice long inhale. And then all the air out, you can again exhale through your mouth. And then slowly, gently, if you had balls, you can take them out. For a moment, you can just relax your arms by your side. Release your hands, your palms, and you can turn your face to one side. And just have a few neutral breaths here. Observing the sensations. And then from here, slowly, gently press yourself up onto your lower arms. So coming into a Sphinx pose, you can have your elbows kind of underneath the shoulders. And our purpose here is going to be to really open the chest so your lungs have more space to breathe. And we will also compress a little bit the lower back where the kidneys are, right? And have the gentle compression there. If your lower back is sensitive and this pose like this is already too intense for you, you can take a block and place it underneath your belly. That's gonna kind of lessen the curve, right? It's gonna ease a little bit that compression in the lower back. Might make it easier for you. But maybe you don't need it. And we will work here with the lungs points that we had at the wrist and below the wrist. So come into a nice elbow stand, and then you can use one hand that's going to press onto the point underneath your thumbs. Yeah, so going into the wrist line, find that little hole under the thumb, and as we are in Sphinx, you can just press that. If you want, you can even massage it down towards the other point, which was right, the lungs 7, this is lungs 9. Just kind of massage down that whole area, but you can also just press this little hole and stay chilled here. You could even flex your wrist, so kind of have a more stretch that might intensify a little bit the energy flow. And as we are here, once you have your pose, you have your point, again, try to relax, come back to the breath. And this is a great pose, again, to visualize the lungs and see them bright and wide and healthy. Breathing into them and releasing what no longer serves with the exhale. Maybe you can even listen to the sound of your own breath. And through every inhale, inviting fresh vitality. And every exhale is there for you to release what no longer serves you from your inner space. And then we can slowly shift down to the lung 7, right, which we did reach by having the index coming the opposite way and pointing at this little hole there on this side. And just enjoy that you have more space to breathe in Sphinx, right? There is more openness in the chest. Sometimes we spend the whole day in a forward bend where we compress our lungs, so it's very important that we're able to support and give more space to the lungs. Great. And from here, slowly we can release it. And you can just come down for a little moment. And you can take the right knee up towards your shoulder. And then you can come back to the cactus arms. And you can turn your face either towards your knee or towards the other one. So gently just have a little moment in this half frog. The other leg is just down. The knee is up to the side towards your shoulder. And just take a little time to release your chest, but also to relax the lower back. And I'm plugging in the phone into some charger. And observe the sensations. And just take this time to let go. Another moment to surrender before we come back up to do the other side. Yeah. And then slowly take your knee back down. You can take both of your hands underneath your forehead, and you can just wiggle a little bit with your hips from side to side. And from here, slowly press yourself back up again, and we will just shortly do the other side. So if you've been doing the left, now take your left thumb and press the lungs point, the lungs 9 underneath the right thumb on the wrist line. Again, if you want, you can flex the wrist. That would make it probably easier to find that more sensitive point, that little hole under the bone of your thumb and between the bone of your arm. And just draw your attention again onto the lungs. Breathing in freedom, breathing in fresh space or white, bright energy. And maybe you start to notice that either your mind is getting calmer or your inner space is getting more relaxed, right? It's wonderful to work with the lungs, large intestines. The metal element is the one that helps us to create space between us and things that are happening around us, to release the grip, to not be pulled into, to not get attached, to not get reactive, to be able to stay in our own space. Yes, and then you can slide down to the lung 7. Again, if you want, you can check it with the, turning like you would shake hands, palms into each other, and then the index pointing at that point. Just a few more breaths here. And sometimes even emotions can get liberated when we work with the lungs. The emotion connected to the lungs, according to the Chinese approach, is sadness, it's grief, of course it's attachment, or freedom, letting go. So last breath here. And a long full exhale, maybe through your mouth if that feels nice for you. Release the hands and then gently coming down. And you can take this time your left knee up towards the left shoulder to the side. So have a little inner leg stretch there. Cactus arms again and turn your face to the opposite side than you did before. And once you are on the ground, then just take a nice inhale and gently release your body with the exhale. And rest here. And then slowly start to move your left leg back down next to the right. If you want, you can do like a little wiggle here, loosening legs, easing the lower back. And then slowly taking the hands underneath the shoulders and gently press yourself up onto your knees. And if you can, just sit down onto the heels. If you can't sit on your heels, either because of the knees or for any other reason, you can always sit between your heels or to put a block underneath your butt between the heels, also fine. Yeah, have just a little moment here. You can roll the shoulders a few times. And we're just going to take our hands behind. And if it's available to you, if your wrists are allowing that, try to have your palms facing up. So we give a little wrist stretch again. And place the hands towards the sacrum, so the fingertips will actually touch the bottom of the kidneys. If it's not available, obviously you can just turn them the other way around. Yeah, and that's going to be fine too. But in a way, as we open the shoulders slightly, drawing the elbows towards each other and slightly lifting the heart, we're again connecting the lungs and the kidneys. Very important that they communicate that vitality is supporting the lungs, and the air that we breathe in and the air that we breathe out is also helping the kidneys in their function of purifying, keeping everything energized and clean. Maybe you can observe how the breath has more space, that you feel more spacious in your chest, in your lungs. And just the last breath here. So nice long inhale and a full exhale through the mouth. Slowly releasing the hands. If you want, you can shake a little bit your arms, or you can roll the shoulders a few times. And we will continue with a little twist for our back and to support the stomach meridian. So just take your feet together in front of you, and first of all, just really hug yourself. Hugging yourself. If you want, you can add also a point. I didn't introduce it, but if you can hug and you can get to the elbow, then right at the elbow crest, right where you kind of bend the elbow, right in that corner, still in one line with your thumb, there is a point right in there, right? When you bend it, it's just at the crease. You could press it as well, but just give yourself a little hug and go until you feel that your back is stretching. You can take your chin in. If you have a little bit bigger belly, no problem. You can have a broader distance between your feet. And just breathe until you feel that your back is having that nice stretch as a counterpose for all the hollow shapes that we did, all the back bends. Now we give a little stretch. And then from here, slowly, let's just have both of our legs together. We'll take the right hand behind us, and we'll take the left hand onto the right knee. So let the center of your palm rest on the top of your knee, and then drop the fingers down. And then wherever your index finger is kind of landing, try to find right next to the knee. It's not right under the knee, it's a little bit more to the side. Try to find that hole underneath the kneecap on the right side, right here. Yeah, find that whole stomach 36 point. Yeah? And once you have that, you can still kind of hug the other knee together with the right one with your left arm, and then on an inhale we can just have a little lift and then twist slightly here. And you can gaze down, you can gaze behind you, find the right position for your neck. Try to locate your point. For most of the people, it's again a sensitive point. Stimulates digestion, stimulates energy in the body. Stimulates energy for our muscles. And gives us energy to be active. And also here, see if you can maintain a deeper breath. So not just jumping up to breathe up here, but really receiving the energy that comes with your breath. Receiving it deep down to your core, to your center. And let's just have the last breath here. So nice long inhale. And with an exhale, come back to the center. You You can take your hands behind, you can lift maybe a little bit of the chest. Maybe it feels nice to have a bit of windshield wipers to loosen the legs. And then we can go for the other side, right? I'm turning around so you can see me. This time your left hand will be behind, taking your legs together, right arm coming across, and then again place it on the top of the knee. Check until when the index is going, maybe a little bit below that, find your point. You can also look at it, right, from the kneecap where it's ending, and then from there walk to the side, and a little bit below that we'll find 36 stomach. And again we twist. So this time twisting to the opposite side. And once you have your point, try to again relax everything else. And let your breath flow. It's a wonderful point whenever you feel tired throughout your day and you still have a bunch of things to do and you can't just go and have a nap, to give you more energy, to support the whole physical body in getting strong and energized. So let's have the last breath here. And then a long full exhale as we come back. And again, if you feel like having a little wipers, great. And we will just transition all the way down to the earth. Before we do that, I want to show you one of my favorite points, which is an all-time rebalancing point, the Shen Men. Right, it's a heart point, it's the source point of the heart. You can just again go on the wrist line and then go underneath the little pinky, and this time find that hole on the wrist line under the pinky. That's a point that helps us to connect to our spirit, and it helps to kind of connect us to our inner light, and well, with that align everything to the positive bright side. It brings peace to the mind, it's calming anxiety down, and it's just bringing a light energy. Yeah, so we will use that. If you want, you could use it in the last pose we will do on our back. Find it here. Sometimes you can again have these little bulbs there that you massage down and up. You will feel it's kind of jumpy, bumpy. So it's nice to massage those. And for now, just come and lie down on your back. Just let go for a moment. Practice complete letting go. Let the belly rise with your inhale and let it fall with the exhale. Releasing all control. Letting go as much as you can, and just observing, feeling, sensing. And then from here we will go into our last pose, which will be a Bananasana. So slowly start to walk your feet to the right, both of your feet to the right side, away from the center line, but keep both of your hips on the ground. So don't roll over, just stay on the floor, and take your left foot across the right ankle if you want. You can also not do that. And then slowly stretch both of your arms above the head, and slowly take your upper body also a little bit more to the right. So if someone would look at you from above, you would look indeed like a little banana or a C, a letter C. And you could use your right hand to gently hold onto your left wrist and pull that left arm a little bit more to create a stretch in the left arm. And if you want, you can find that heart point here under the pinky on your left wrist. Otherwise, you can just chill and just enjoy the pose. If it's difficult for you to lift the arms above the head, you can also just have the arms by your side. Or having the arms coming to the shoulders like you would give yourself a hug. Eventually it's nicer maybe to have it on the side and having an openness in the arms and chest. Again, enjoy the space you have in the lungs. Enjoy filling up your inner space with fresh vitality and an energy of freedom, of space, and lightness. Most probably you feel a stretch on the side body, and you feel a little stretch in your arm, an opening maybe in the lung space. Connecting ourselves to our inner light, to the spark within. And then slowly from here you can come back to the center. You can release for a moment arms, legs, and just have a breath to let go, to feel. Maybe you can notice sensations in your left arm, the left side of the body. And then from here we're going to transition with both of our feet to the left. So gently walk with both feet to the left. If you want, you can cross over with your right foot on top of the left. And then again, gently stretch your arms above your head. And this time, take your upper body and your arms also a tiny bit to the left. You choose how deep you want to go into this pose. And if you have your pose, keep both hips on the ground, both sitting bones touching. And then you could have your left hand holding onto the right wrist, gently pulling the arm, and then release it. And if you want, you can stimulate the heart 7 on the wrist line underneath the pinky. Find your hole and just breathe here. Try to relax your arm, your shoulders. And let your breath flow. And the last 2 breaths here. And with a long full exhale, you can just come back to the center with your upper body first, arms first, and then walk your legs back. And then gently hug your knees into the chest. Sway a little bit from side to side. Massaging our lower back, our kidneys. And then taking the legs all the way up, your arms all the way up, and just gently shake it all out. Releasing again anything that is still like a residue energy, what we don't need, we can release it. And then slowly find your final Shavasana, a position in which you can completely let go. If lying on your back is uncomfortable for you, you could always roll onto your side. You can always place a pillow or bolster underneath your knees. And just also check if you need to maybe cover yourself with a blanket. And once you are down in the Shavasana, then just really take that last full conscious breath. And have a long full exhale through the mouth, big letting go. Dropping the control over the body, dropping the control over your breath, control over your mind. Just imagine that there is this divine hand that is holding you. And with every exhalation, you can just surrender more and you can let yourself be carried by that hand. Interestingly enough, both the water element and both the metal, if we go more into the mental attributes of them, it's about the deeper sense of trust. So trusting life, trusting our spirit, trusting the guidance, and trusting that there is a supportive energy that carries us through life. So just let yourself rest in that supportive hand. Trusting that your body can find its balance. And trusting that your life flow is just the way it should be, that it will all be fine. That you are looked after, that you're not just abundant and you need to crawl. Just like Rumi, the Sufi poet said, I so much love that quote from him. that you were born with wings. Why crawl through life? So inviting that lightness, knowing we have wings, we have faith, we have guidance, we have support. And just observe for a moment, where did this practice take you? How you feel? And maybe what is the invitation here for you from deep down, deep within? This season is also inviting us to go within and listen deep within for the guidance, for what is important. And so let's just have our last breath here. And a nice long full exhale. And then slowly start to move a little bit, your toes, your fingers. If you feel like stretching a bit, great. And then gently roll onto your side. And then from there, slowly coming up in your own rhythm without any rush into a comfortable sitting position. And then taking both of our hands in the Garuda Mudra, which is a very beautiful protective mudra, also great for the lungs. Place them on your lungs, on your chest, crossing the wrist, crossing the thumbs, spread the wings. Wait. And so just having a few more breaths here, breathing in gentleness, love, light into our heart, into our mind, into our whole body. Breathing love for our whole body, for the job that it does for us throughout our whole life. I love to call our body the temple because, well, it's a sacred place where our soul, our spirit lives. So it can only be sacred. So this is how we should treat it. And we will finish this practice with a little bit of chanting, offering the energies of this practice to the greater global community. While we need to acknowledge that we have the resources inside of ourselves, so whatever is happening in our life, there is always a place to turn towards. There are no accidents, right? So there is so much of sources, resources, tools to work with in a loving way to support the body. And this is what they have been doing also in China. In the hospitals, they used acupuncture. And it really, really helped people to heal faster, quicker, without complication. So much is there for us to discover, to work with, the support with love, the rejuvenation. But then also really just sending out good vibes from our heart as a prayer to all those who are right now in struggle, and kind of sending this out there that, you know, there are ways to make the path easier. There are ways to release our baggages and anything that might be kind of locking us or imprisoning us or grabbing us, pulling us down. So we will chant Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, beautiful mantra. If you don't know it, no problem, just feel it, just receive the vibration. Mantra to release suffering, and then to open up, to fly free in happiness, and also activating our own ability to be in service to others when it comes to the ability to liberate ourselves from suffering, right? To liberate ourselves from fear, to realize that there is another reality calling us in, deep within, to connect deeper and to embrace our resources. So let's just chant an Om together. Nice long inhale. And as we chant this mantra, which means may all beings be free from suffering, may all beings be happy and free, and may I contribute with my words and my action to the happiness, the freedom, and liberation of all. So as we chant that, maybe you can visualize again this white light that we invited into our lungs, that it's wrapping the earth into this beautiful white light. So I'm going to chant it first, breaking it down into two, then you can join me, maybe the two parts, and then we put it together. Loka Samasta. Let's do it together. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Sukhino Bhavantu. So put it together. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Last two. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And we finish with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, which means peace, peace, peace. So again, you can visualize that we just breathe this peace breath all around the planet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And just take a deep breath here for yourself. A nice, long, deep, good exhale. And taking both of our hands together in prayer. And thanking each other for joining tonight, for putting our energies together. Thank you for showing up. I hope that there's something that you can take with you from this, and maybe something that you can share with others, and together we can contribute to some healthy solutions and a brighter energy right now. Namaste. Thank you guys. Florence. Yeah. So if there is anything you feel like sharing, please feel free to do so. I will put the points. Thank you. I will put the points, the list of the points underneath this post, so you can find them back. You can maybe choose one or two to work with in a regular way, or if you have anybody who you can help with these points, just really share, right? Thank you guys. Yes, thank you so much. I'm really passionate about combining acupuncture and yin, acupressure and yin. And, I just started to share this more and more. I've been working with it for about 2 years now myself. And I find it very powerful. So, yes. So if you resonate with that, just let me know. I will share more about it. I will do more sessions. And yeah, I would recommend maybe you follow this page because there's more to come. And yeah, thank you guys. Joy, freedom, light, and love, exactly, right? And just be aware of your inner space, right? This practice, maybe you feel it cleared up the inner space. Now it's your responsibility what you're going to let come into your inner space, right? Where is your focus? So this is where it gets really interesting to be the space holder for ourselves and kind of the space protector of ourselves. And when you know that things are getting intense, too intense, things are gripping you, just know that you have tools. You have this practice that we did, you have points, large intestines, lungs, they are all about letting go, letting go. So feel free to practice, use your breath. Thank you guys. And yes, I hope to share more about this, and I hope that more people start to feel the power of these sessions. And if you have anybody that is in a situation with a flu, let me know how it works for them. I've been helping a few people and they did have positive feedback. Great, you feel calmer. Yes, this is why I said it's not just for the flu. This is really to create more space, right? Letting go, non-attachment from all the stuff that is all around, which is really intense. Whatever is grabbing you, and that right now there's a lot of grabbing power. This practice, these elements, water and metal, they help us to just drop back into our own space and create release, letting go. Thank you so much for sharing. Wonderful. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. And yeah, I do offer a course on this. If anyone is interested, feel free to ask me about that. But tonight I just really wanted to share so we can contribute to a healthy alternative, right? Healthy approach, proactive approach, a light, bright approach instead of fearful approach. And so may we all come out of this whole big change and transformation stronger, lighter, brighter, and more together. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful continuation of your evening. And yeah, so happy to connect. Namaste. Thank you. I will keep this session on the page, so you will find it here. I'm not going to delete it. You can always revisit it or share with anyone that you think might be interested or might be useful for them. Thanks, guys.